on your back or your side. So whatever you feel is a nice shavasana, a nice starting position for your practice. And maybe closing the eyes if you haven't already. Letting the body take up the space it wants and needs. And you might take a couple of deeper breaths just to help you settle into your space, arrive into your space. Or maybe you found that nice slow flow of breath and you stay with that. And can you connect the breath and the body? So the sensations that occur through the body when you inhale and when you exhale. So maybe this kind of lift rising as you inhale and a softening as you exhale. And using your exhales to help you just unwind, untense any areas that may be tight or you're holding onto. And even to help with the mind as well. So if you have quite a busy mind, which is completely normal, as a thought pops in, you can acknowledge it, of course. But as you exhale, just breathe it away. So the thoughts are almost like the tide, the wave of the breath. So they're going to come, they go. We just try not to dwell too much. Being present. Welcome to your gentle flow practice. I'm going to be moving through some moon salutations this evening. So Chandra Namaskar, Chandra meaning moon, Namaskar, salute. So unlike some salutations which tend to move forwards and backwards, up and down the mat that way, we go from side to side. And our moon energy is a cooling, a calming, quite a feminine energy, introspective, and intuitive as well. So, you know, if you feel like you just need to move in a certain way or something kind of takes you over and you want to have a wiggle and a shake, then go for it. So there is a full moon this evening, moving in a way to honor that cycle and that energy. And as always, you do whatever you wish as part of the practice. If you want to stay here for the next hour, then you're welcome to. You need to take a rest at any point, you can. Let's start by just gently warming through the body. So as we inhale, taking the fingertips up towards the sky. As you exhale, perhaps taking the arms back overhead. So see how that feels. Inhale to lift the fingertips back up towards the sky. And as you exhale, down by the side of the body. So just two more like that in your own breath. You might even take one big inhale to sweep the arms over. So however you feel moves best for your body. Maybe there's a point where you hold for a breath. So, you know, if you find that sticky spot or a stuck spot that just feels nice to get into. And eventually bringing the arms down by the side of the body. Let's bend into the knees. Place the soles of the feet onto the earth, about hip distance apart. But again, you know, whatever feels comfortable, steady and strong for you. Chin towards the chest. Let's press down through the feet as we gently lift the spine away from the earth, finding our bridge. As we exhale, rolling back down, keeping the legs strong. Inhale, finding that lift, hips to the sky. And exhale to the earth. And maybe you get the arms involved here. So as we inhale, we're lifting the hips, perhaps taking the arms overhead. And as we exhale, the spine, low spine hits the earth as the palms do. So that's just an option. You might want to stick with the first option. Taking 2 more in your own breath, your own time. So maybe the eyes are closed, just enjoying this connection of breath and movement. Gently bringing the spine down towards the earth when you're ready. Bringing the knees in towards you. So you could bring the legs together or take them out a little bit wider. Maybe having a rock and roll from side to side, or holding the kneecaps and circling the knees. And then rolling over onto your right or left side. So whichever you prefer. Just taking a moment there. Slowly pressing your way up, and let's find a comfortable seated position. I thought I'd lost my microphone. It was just covered by my hair. I was like, where did that go? So sitting nice and tall, doesn't have to be crossed legs. It could be Baddha Konasana. It could be with the legs out, whatever you prefer. Take a nice big inhale, sweep tall, maybe lift the gaze, join the palms. As you exhale, sweep back down to the ground, look forward. 3 more like that. Nice. Let's take it into a twist. So we inhale, sweep up. As we exhale, go right. So I don't mirror you. I should say that before the clash, shouldn't I? Because everyone's like, which way is she going? Nice big inhale to lift and lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, turning that right shoulder back. So you might be on fingertips rather than on palm. As we inhale, let's turn the head, turn the body back to center, lift the hands. And on your exhale, sweep into that opposite side. So get comfortable there. Don't feel that you have to arrive in the position and just be like, yep, got it. Inhale to find length and space, and exhale to gently lean into that space, turning the left shoulder. As we inhale, let's sweep back round to center, turn the palms forward and take a forward fold, exhale. So bringing the hands down, perhaps then softening the head, the shoulders, working into the hip space with that fold of the body. Breathe in there. As we inhale, start to lift the gaze, sweep the hands all the way back up, join the palms together, exhale to the heart space, drop the chin to the chest. Maybe closing the eyes there, just reconnecting with the flow of breath. Maybe you have an intention, an affirmation for your practice, a word, a colour, symbol. If you do, then you're welcome to bring that to mind. Lifting the gaze, blink the eyes open. Let's find our way into tabletop. So hands and knees, you could roll forward, you could drop the legs to the side. So bringing the palms down, spreading the fingers to a comfortable position. Maybe you have the tops of the feet pressed to the earth. Maybe you tuck the toes. So that's completely up to you. Pressing down through the hands, lifting the gaze forward slightly, engaging through low back. So we're almost hugging the belly up into the low back. And then as we inhale, we let the belly drop, draw the shoulders back, open through the heart space. Exhale, push the earth away, round through the spine. So just taking a couple more like that, explore it. How does it feel for you? How does it work with the breath? Do you soften the elbows a little bit? Do you let the head be heavy? Maybe the eyes are closed. So always just kind of forget what you look like. Think what it feels like. And coming back then to a neutral spine position, tabletop. Let's tuck the toes onto the mat, push the seat back towards the heels. So really get onto the toes there, into the balls of the feet. Take an inhale, lift forward, maybe take the shoulders just slightly over the wrists if that feels okay. And then as we exhale, seat towards heels. So we're going to take two more like that, inhaling. And exhale. Inhale. So make it your own. Exhale. From here, downward facing dog. So take a nice big inhale, push the hands into the earth. As you exhale, lift in the seat. Maybe stepping the feet wider. And we're pushing our hands into the earth, shifting the weight up the arms, down through the backs of the legs. So it's quite common that we'll have more weight in the hands. We want to try and get some nice even weight through the back of the legs. Let's take an inhale, start to shift the weight of the body forwards. As you exhale, step or walk the toes to the backs of the wrists. They don't have to actually be at the backs of the wrists. You might want to use a block here, pressing down as you inhale, lifting into Ardha Uttanasana, so halfway. So the spine is nice and long, the arms are long, the crown of the head is forwards. So this feels strong. Then as you exhale, knees soften, maybe you adjust the block. Crown of the head comes down towards the ground. Really feel a heaviness through the spine and the back of the neck. If that doesn't work for you, like if that makes you feel a bit dizzy, then maybe just lifting up just a little bit. And explore it there. So is there this need to be still for you this evening? Which if there is, it's fine. Or maybe take a little sway with the hips, the shoulders. Spreading the toes. Let's find a moment of stillness. Press down through the feet. Start to lift the gaze as we inhale, sweep the arms wide, look up, hands join. And as we exhale, float them down by the side of the body, stepping into Tadasana. So that's got loads of options, feet together, hip distance, wider, somewhere that you feel steady. Just gazing forwards and then maybe closing the eyes. So there might be almost a soft sway to the body, which is fine. Gently pressing down through the soles of the feet. Maybe lifting the kneecaps a little. What does it feel like for you to move the pelvis forward? So almost pushing the pubic area forward, squeezing the bum cheeks. If that doesn't work, it doesn't work for everybody's lower back. Then you don't have to do that one. So does that strengthen through lower body and soften through upper body? So maybe gently parting the lips, letting the jaw be soft, the shoulders, the fingertips. Tadasana. Breathe in here. Gently blink the eyes open. As we inhale, sweep the arms wide, lift up and interlace the fingers, releasing the index finger, crossing the thumbs. So we take a nice big inhale to reach through the side body. As we exhale, shift over to one side, whichever you prefer. So taking this kind of moon shape with the body. As we inhale, come back to center. And exhale, opposite side. So keeping the chest, the gaze nice and open, pushing the hip away. Let's inhale, come back to center. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale back to center. As we exhale, float the arms down. And then turn towards this wall, step towards me. So you would be here on your mat. I can't leave my own. So we're going to go up and down the mat now. So we'll go towards the back wall and then we'll end up coming back towards me. So taking a nice big inhale, sweep the hands up. As you exhale, step wide across your mat. Find a star shape. Turning the toes out, the heels in. Pushing the pubic area forward slightly. So really getting into the legs there. As we inhale, lift and find the hands in prayer. And as we exhale, bend the elbows and the knees. Finding Goddess. Pressing into the baby toe side. Take an inhale, lift. And exhale to lower. One more like that. Inhale. And exhale. Holding it there. Maybe have a little sway from side to side. Other options are that you could lift the toes. You could come onto the heels. Come onto the balls of the feet. So exploring what the body has to do there. Then lengthen through the legs, bringing the hands onto the hips. Let's turn the left toes in and the right toes out. Perfect. So you're going to be heading towards the outdoors. Bending into that right knee, finding our warrior two stance with the lower body. So we're turning the hips towards the long edge of the mat. You could keep the hands on hips or you could release the arms out nice and wide. Taking our warrior two. Breathe in there, keeping the back and the front arms in line if we can. Let's bring the left hand onto the hip. Lengthen through that right leg. So we've got a slight bend in the right knee. As we inhale, flip that right palm, reach it forwards. And as you exhale, come down into Trikonasana. So we're bringing that right palm inside or outside the knee, the shin. My fave way is to take a block on the outside edge of the foot. Press down through the block. Turn and open through the chest. Then maybe you want to lift the left fingertips to the sky. So we've got this press down to lift up. Pushing into the baby toe side of that left foot. Have a little softness through the right knee if you need it. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, turn towards that right foot. Turn on the left toes. Find yourself in a runner's lunge position. So let the hips do the talking. They'll move you around. Dropping that left knee down, releasing the toes. Pressing down through the right foot as you inhale, lifting into Anjaneyasana or low lunge. You could have the hands on the thigh. You could have the hands in prayer. So whatever version you like. Perhaps you sink the hips forward slightly, draw the arms back. So creating a little bit of space, nice through the hips, also through the side body. Take an inhale, come back to center with the spine. Then as you exhale, bring the fingertips down. Framing that front foot. We're going to tuck the back toes, lift that back knee and step forwards with that back foot, finding a forward fold position. Nice. As you next inhale, press down through the block or lift in whatever way works for you for halfway. Engaging the arms, gently engaging the legs. As you exhale, fold the body forwards. allowing the spine, the neck, the head to soften. And as we inhale, let's come back into our halfway position. So you might want to use a block for a little bit of stability. We're going to step the left foot back and turn the toes out. So naturally when we step back, it probably turns out a little bit. So not fully, just a little bit there. Have a softness through that right knee if you need it. Bringing the hands onto the hips. Let's inhale to lift all the way up. Turning the hips towards the outdoors. As we exhale, folding back forward. So think of keeping a nice long spine. Hips in line, so we're almost drawing that right hip back, left hip forward. You could release the hands back down onto your block. You can release them to the earth. So whatever version of this works for you. Parsvottanasana, intense side stretch. So you might really feel that down the back of the legs. Breathe in steadily there. Softening into that right knee, bring the hands to the hips as you inhale, lift the gaze, coming all the way up, take an exhale. And then let's step forwards, finding Tadasana. So doing whatever you need to do there, releasing the arms, closing the eyes maybe. You might even just have a little bit of a shake out of the body before you find stillness. And strengthening through lower body, softening through upper body. So good news is that we're coming back towards me on the mat, but we already know what's happened. We might have forgotten it. Hopefully I haven't. Let's take a nice deep inhale as we sweep the hands up overhead, interlace the fingers, release the index finger, maybe cross the opposite thumb. So we're always quite habitual. Inhale, reach through the side body. As you exhale, over to whichever side comes first for you. Inhale comes back to center. And exhale to the other side. Just gently taking a couple more like that with your own breath in the time that feels nice for you. And then coming back to center. As you exhale, releasing the arms down by the side of the body. Turn to face the pink wall, we'll call that one, even though, yeah, that one's not pink. So back facing the wall that you were facing before. Take a nice big inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, take that wide step into your star position. Turning the heels in, the toes out. Flipping the palms to the sky as we inhale, reach and find a prayer. And as we exhale, bend the knees and elbows, Goddess. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to settle down. Inhale. And exhale, just holding our Goddess there, maybe exploring a bit of movement or complete stillness if you prefer. Pushing into the baby toe side of the feet. Breathe in there. As we inhale, lengthen the legs, bringing the hands on the hips, turning the right toes in, the left toes out. So coming back towards me. Hips turn towards the long edge of the mat. Take an inhale as you exhale, bend that left knee. Maybe releasing the arms, maybe you keep hands on hips. Again, completely up to you. Gazing down the left fingertips. Softening into that left knee. Bringing the right hand onto the hip, lengthen through that left leg slightly, taking an inhale as we reach forward with the left hand and an exhale to find our version of Trikonasana. So using a block if you wish, perhaps keeping the hand on the hip, maybe lifting the right fingertips up. Maybe even taking the hand behind the back, palm faces away. So we're turning and opening through the chest and the shoulder. Steady in the breath. Take an inhale. And as we exhale, soften that left knee. We're turning the body round towards the ground. Spin on that back foot. We're in our lunge position. Drop the back knee down. Release the toes. Front knee over ankle. As you inhale, maybe you sweep all the way up. Maybe you come onto the thigh. Maybe you find prayer. Whatever works for you. Perhaps with an exhale, you gently shift the hips forward, draw the arms back. You could even lift the gaze. That'll affect the steadiness, but it's up to you. Steady breath. Take an inhale. As we exhale, bring the hands down, framing that foot. So be on fingertips to give it a little bit more space. Tuck the back toes, lift that back knee, stepping ourselves forwards. Finding our forward fold. And then as we inhale, lifting into our halfway version. So use a prop if you would like to. Lengthening through the arms, toes and knees forward, crown of the head forward. Exhale, gently shifting back down into Uttanasana, our forward fold, soft knees, heavy upper body. Just enjoying that heaviness. Inhale, coming back to our halfway position. Maybe having the hands on the block, stepping that right foot back. Bring the hands to the hips as you inhale, lift up. And that back foot will kind of turn your hips. So if you need to turn the hips more towards the front of the room, just turn on that back foot. Lengthen through the left knee if that feels appropriate for you. Take a nice big inhale here. We're going to draw the shoulder blades together, lift the heart space. And then as we exhale, start to fold forwards. So at the point where you feel like, oh, that's quite intense for front or back leg, you can soften. You might want to bring the hands down onto your block. So that block could be used to press down to keep the spine long. Maybe you want to fold forward, but again, you know, this is completely up to you. So what approach feels right for you? What feels sustainable? Breathe in there. Softening into that left knee, bring the hands onto the hips as we inhale, rising head first. Take an exhale and step towards the top of the mat. Let's close the eyes. Just shake anything out that you might need to. Have a sip of water if you want that. And then we'll meet in Tadasana. Catching the breath there. Keeping the mind in our practice. Gently blinking the eyes open. Inhale, sweeping wide, lifting the hands. As we exhale, sweep back down, soften the knees, fingertips down to the earth. Stepping our right foot back, then our left foot back to find a plank. So you can have a high plank position. You could join me in dropping the knees. Push through the hands, draw the shoulders back, lifting the chest. Take an inhale as you start to shift the body weight forward slightly. As you exhale, bending the elbows into the ribs, down onto the ground. Press through the hands as you inhale, roll the shoulders back, gently open the heart space.
And exhale to come back down. I'm going to take 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Tuck the toes onto the mat, kneecaps meet the earth, push through the hands, come through our kind of tabletop position, then spreading the knees, turning the big toes towards each other, walk back, nuzzle down into the hips, and find what works for your upper body. So is there a way that the hands feel comfortable, the arms? Perhaps you want a prop to rest the head on. We're going to take a minute here. So at our halfway point of the practice, taking a well-deserved rest. Perhaps you've got the eyes closed, nothing to see there. Time for a little bit of stillness and surrender. Softening. So for some of us, maybe stillness and surrender is quite nice. For others, you know, it might be quite a challenge. You might really dislike it, which is fine. So these are all things that are really interesting about yoga that can kind of tell us better about ourselves. We learn more about ourselves. If you would like to spend a little bit more time in child's pose, you are more than welcome to. Otherwise, let's come back into our tabletop position. Pressing through the hands, finding a nice strong tabletop, then returning to cat-cow. So as we inhale, drop in the belly, draw the shoulders, lift the gaze. Exhale, push the spine to the sky, taking a couple more like that. So again, make it your own. Maybe the eyes are closed. You might even decide that actually you want to just work on shifting the hips from side to side, forwards and backwards. So what feels kind of intuitive to you? Maybe you're not too sure yet, and that's okay too. We could make some circles. So seat shifts down and then circles back up. Come back into our tabletop position, tuck the toes onto the mat, push the seat back to the heels, take an inhale. And as we exhale, shifting up into our downward facing dog. So maybe there you want a little bit of movement, or perhaps stillness. Soften the knees to send the seat up nice and high. Let's take an inhale, shift the weight of the body forward. As we exhale, drop the left knee down, step the right foot forwards. And then we're going to come into a higher lunge position here. So lifting up through that back knee. Let's take our block. So we're going to need our block for this one as well. But the block isn't going to be, so right now it's shoulder and wrist. We're going to be reaching forward. So we want to take it, if I was to lift onto the tiptoes or the ball of my foot, that's where it's going to be. And as we inhale, perhaps we shift forward, lift the back toes away from the earth. So my shoulder comes to my wrist. As we exhale, maybe we drop back down. So taking a few like that, if you find a little bit of air time, push that heel away. Bring the right hand onto the hip and maybe turn slightly. So finding our revolved Ardha Chandrasana half moon. But again, you know, play with it. This is what the practice is about. So what is your variation? It will be so boring if everyone's was the same. Remembering to breathe. So it's not about getting a shape right. It's about exploring what works. Let's step that back foot back down, release the fingertips to the earth, come back, drop into our tabletop position, and then take a rest in child's pose. So balances particularly can be quite like, whew, for people. Well, it is for me anyway, so this child's pose is mainly for me to have a rest. And notice then if you have any attachment to that. So were you kind of judging like, oh God, I mean, to be honest, that used to be one of my like most hated yoga asana. So what do you kind of attach to it? Do you attach good or bad, depending on how you performed it? Can you move past those feelings and return to being present? If you don't want to try the other side, that is absolutely fine. You don't have to, no judgment in this space. You could stay in child's pose. If you want to give the other side a whirl, then just pop in up into tabletop. Tuck in the toes, gently making your way into your downward facing dog. Take an inhale, shift the weight of the body forwards. Exhale, drop the right knee, step that left foot forwards. Using the fingertips, finding your high lunge position. So you could have a softness through that back knee. Right side, so on the right side of the body with this block. Take it forwards to a point where we think we're going to shift to. Oh, nearly lost the mic then. And then just start to have that little play with it. Inhale. And exhale. So, you know, you can use that left hand as well if that felt steadier. Softness perhaps in that left knee. Maybe you want to take the left hand onto the hip. Maybe you want to take that little revolve. Maybe flexing that back foot. Or hold in stillness. What works for you? Gently dropping that back foot down, releasing the fingertips to the earth. Let's step back into our downward facing dog. Give the body a stretch out. As we inhale, shift the weight of the body forward. As we exhale, step the toes towards the backs of the wrists. Take an inhale, finding halfway lift. So thinking length and strength through body. And as we exhale, softening into our forward fold. Taking the feet out wider, so perhaps heel toe them. Toes come off the mat, heels on the mat, but that's just my body. Inhale. And as you exhale, bend the knees, drop the seat down between the heels. So remember, you can use a prop if you need to, or several props. And you could have the fingertips on the earth. You could have the hands in a prayer position. So taking a moment to kind of, again, make it your own. So what feels good for you here? Do you feel comfortable to close the eyes for a couple of breaths? Breathe in deeply, so really getting into the hip space, a main space of stagnation, stuckness, tightness. Again, we're gently pressing into baby toe side of feet, opening up through the hips and groin. Gently blink the eyes open. Let's release any props we have underneath us, taking the hands behind and taking a seat down onto the earth. Extend the legs, maybe have a little bit of a shake out, a squeeze, a rub of the legs. And then finding our butterfly. So bringing soles of the feet together. So a little bit different from bound angle or Baddha Konasana. So this is Baddha Konasana, where we're bringing the legs in, and this is our butterfly. And you might even want props here as well. So sometimes it can be quite nice to have some props stacked for the head. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, gently fold forward. There's an option to slide the hands underneath the lower legs. Just releasing the forehead down. Letting the head be heavy. Softening the face, the shoulders. Breathe in here. So this is our more yin version of a hip opener. Moon energy, our lunar energy is more yin, our solar energy, the sun, more yang. Nice and slowly as you inhale, just rolling back up through the spine, releasing the hands if you take that option. Lift the shoulders, then as you exhale, just draw them down the back. And you can remove any props that you have. If this still feels fairly comfortable, then we're going to come down onto the mat with our legs in this shape. So completely up to you. If it doesn't, then just, take them away from that, place the soles of the feet down. So making sure that you have any bits of covers that you might want or any props. And we're just slowly going to shuffle ourselves down. So coming down onto the elbows. Maybe then drawing the heels slightly closer in towards you. So you've got the support of the back of the body there. Perhaps cactusing the arms or just taking the elbows out wider. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, drop that left leg over onto the right leg, finding our supine twist. Keeping the upper back nice and close to the earth. So we're keeping the heart space open too. When you're ready with an inhale, just opening back to our butterfly. Taking an exhale to soften. Inhale. And exhale, dropping right on to left. So, have a little shuffle if you need it there for comfort. Again, make it yours. Every yoga pose, make it yours. What works for your body? Starting to wind down and relax. So perhaps coming towards the end of our cycle here. As we inhale, just coming back to our butterfly position once more. Such a nice hip opener. Exhale to soften. And maybe you take the arms up overhead if that feels nice for you. You could grab wrists, elbows, forearms. So we're getting that real nice opening through the whole of the front of the body there. And when you are ready to leave that position, maybe using the hands on the edges of the thighs, just gently pushing the knees back together. And taking a moment to explore anything else that you would like. So keep it, nice and soft. We're coming towards Shavasana, but it doesn't have to be yoga asana specific. Maybe there's just a way you want to have a bit of a roll or a stretch. Perhaps close the eyes and just go with what feels right for the body.
And then when you feel ready to, starting to make your way into Shavasana. And what feels right here? Lying on the back of the body, the side of the body. Do you want any props to help you find comfort in Shavasana? So taking your time if you need it. Just to settle yourself into the most comfortable position for you. So taking up that space that the body needs. Maybe closing the eyes. Think of perhaps tucking the chin slightly to the chest so we maintain that nice length through the back of the neck. And maybe now you follow me through this guided relaxation through the body. Or perhaps you switch off and just drift into your own Shavasana. So, don't feel that you have to listen to what I say. Maybe you just hear words or sounds. And there's no need to move the physical body. I'm just going to take a journey through it. Perhaps you might like to imagine that you're lying in this safe space with the light of the full moon shining down upon you. So you feel this energy of calm, relaxation. You feel grounded, safe, supported. That energy shines onto the tips of the toes, the soles of the feet, the top of each foot, the ankles, the lower legs, the kneecaps and the backs of the knees, and the upper legs, into the glutes, around into the hips and the groin space, and then into the lower back. It journeys all the way up the spine, mid-back, upper back, down into the shoulders, the armpits, the upper arms, the elbows, the lower arms, the wrists, the back of each hand, all of the fingertips and the two thumb tips. And gentle moonlight just resting in the palm of each hand. So this invites that quality of you resting, but also renewing the body. As we journey to the back of the neck, the heaviness of the head as it just rests to the earth. Softening the forehead, the eyelids, touching on the tip of the nose, the cheeks, the lips, the chin, and the jawline. Down through the front of the body, past the collarbones, the breasts, into the rib cage, and towards the belly and the belly button, where the breath just gently unfolds. And then perhaps you can feel or even see yourself like you're just stepping away for a moment and looking back down on yourself, covered in this beautiful moonlight, inviting rest, renewal, relaxation into the body, the mind, and perhaps the spirit or soul, if that is your belief. And we're going to take a couple of minutes to just enjoy this rest. So important to take time to rest. Becoming aware of your breath. Maybe it deepens. Just allowing for maybe anything that you might have felt come up in Shavasana wash over you. So new moons and full moons can be quite a potent time. And then gently becoming aware of the body, maybe starting to wiggle, stretch, whatever feels right for you. There's no right and wrong here either. How are you reawakening from your rest? And an invitation this evening to roll to your lunar side, your left side, if that feels comfortable for you. If it doesn't, that's absolutely fine. Just taking a moment there, so moving out of our Shavasana really nice and slowly. And we're going to come towards a breathing practice to end. So when you're ready, just pushing yourself up nice and slowly, find a comfortable seated position. So we're going to end with a little bit of a pranayama practice, which is on moon breath, Chandra Badana. So you can do it in various ways, but I think the easiest way is to take the hand, use one finger, so index finger for one of your nostrils, thumb for the other. It's a bit tricky because I've got double pierced nose. But there we go. And we breathe in through left side and out through right side. So when we breathe in, we're gently pressing down on right. To breathe out, we press on left. Maybe closing the eyes, just continuing like that. In through left. Out through right. Take a couple more rounds. And gently releasing the hand, inhale through both nostrils. And exhale. You can place the hands onto the heart space, find Anjali Mudra or prayer or anything else that you wish. As we inhale, let's lift up towards the sky, sitting tall. And as we exhale, just taking a bow down to the earth, a bow to ourselves, thanking our body, our breath, our mind. And a bow to each other, whether in studio or online, thanking each other for sharing our practice. Thank you very much for allowing me to guide you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your evening. The light and dark in me honors the light and dark within you. Namaste.